See the truck. There we go. I'm muted now, so behave.
Maybe too.
What?
You turn the other microphone.
Yeah, that's how I watch by.
You can say garage. I mean, seriously, he's got 4 drones. Then and then they go to quality this. I don't think I don't know if I know where Ferry is.
About Jonesboro. It's north of Jonesboro, it's about 20 miles from Jonesboro.
Well, then surely I've been there before.
It's straight across from here on 412.
Okay, is that how you go? Just take 412 all the way? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. So.
If it's good, it's good.
This is
Sometimes. I don't really care. Yeah, that's fine. No, I don't care. Almost like trying to find a building that didn't. Right. We unmuted and everything?
Yes.
Good.
Good to go.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started this evening with the City of Centerton Planning Commission. September 23rd, 2025 with a roll call.
Jeff Seifert,
On.
Joey Engel,
Here.
Tony Davis,
Here.
Craig Langford, Ben Lewis, Evan Murphy,
Here.
Curtis Ramsey,
Here.
John Sessoms, Brandon Swoboda.
Here. All right, first thing on the agenda this evening is the approval of the minutes from 9/2 of 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from 9/2.
Second. Yep. Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? All right, next is the ratification of the admin approvals. Looks like we've got a home occupation, some kind of block party for the POA and Shirley Estates. An MSI for Life Point Church and the parking lot expansion and the track split for 12 Stone Construction.
Who seconded? Somebody of you, okay.
If there's not any questions or comments from any of the commissioners or staff on the ratification, I will entertain a motion for that.
Tony, make a motion to approve the ratification of administration and approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? All right, under new business this evening, we do have 3 public hearings. The first public hearing is conditional use 2513 Huber Place Model Home, single family dwelling unit, temporary model home, and office space. The address is 1001 Thornwood Place. It is zoned R3 single family. Looks like it's lot number 4. The applicant here to give us an overview of your requests.
My name is Hestella Tapper. I work for DR Horton, just asking for a conditional use
permit for the temporary model home in Heber Place.
Diane, do you want to give us a staff overview?
Yes, and I'm sorry that is not working. For some reason, my computer is frozen. Don't know why. Yes, it is. They are wanting to do a model home on lot number 4 in the Huber Place subdivision, which is also known as 1001 Thornwood Place. The property is 0.25 acres and zoned medium high density, single family residential. They are wanting to use it as a model home and temporary sales office to facilitate sales within the new subdivision for 1 year. They are not doing any structural changes to the residential home. And they are also not going to be converting the garage into sales offices. So it's gonna remain as is. They'll just have people there, walk people through and probably go through, different finishes and things like that that they can do. It is surrounded by single-family zoning and the Huber Place Phase 1 subdivision to the north and to the west. And directly to the east of this property, it is adjacent to C2 zoning because the parcels right there on Tycoon are commercial properties. They will be open for the model home for potential buyers from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 days a week. And the terms of approval, they have requested 1 year. That of course is for you guys to approve as to if 1 year is acceptable or if you would like another time period. All occupants are required to park in the car driveway or there is on-street parking. So if necessary, you do need to have a fire extinguisher and ADA accessibility is encouraged, but if the owner accepts liability, and they're not making any changes to the interior of the house and expiration would be 1 year or it's discontinued use. And there are pictures of the home there. Yeah, there's just a little bit else.
Is it just considered one office or are there gonna be like multiple people working there?
We have about 1 to 2 salespeople working. That's about it.
How do y'all normally handle the parking?
We encourage driveway parking just because to keep minimal cars off the street. But we're expecting maybe about 5 people in there a week.
I know we've ran into some parking challenges before on there.
Well, but people get the opportunity to come and complain if they,
Yeah.
and it can be revoked. So, I agree with you though. But it is just one of the houses. There's not like 3 or 4 of them there.
We're trying to reserve the last few houses surrounding the model home as window lots to allow parking.
Any other questions or comments from any of the commissioners before we open up to the public? Then I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
Well, y'all make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second. Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? We are now open to the public. If anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns in regard to the conditional use 2513 for the Huber Place model home, we'd ask that you come to the podium, state your name, address, any questions, comments, or concerns that you might have. Second call for anyone that wishes to speak. And third and final call.
Joey, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Any comments, questions, concerns from any of the commissioners? 1 year, obviously, there's a few fire things that they would have to do. And of course, if there happens to be a continuing problem with parking or anything else, then it is, obviously something to review. If not, then I would entertain a motion for conditional use 2513 for the Huber Place model home.
Tony, I make a motion to approve CU 2513 Huber Place model home.
Joey, a second.
Motion and a second. Christian, if you do a roll call for me, please.
Devin Murphy,
Yes.
Tony Davis. Brandon Swoboda.
Yes.
Joey Engel.
Yes.
Curtis Ramsey. Jeff Sci-Fi.
I'm a yes as well. Thank you.
Come around back.
Yep.
All right, next on the agenda is also a public hearing. This is for a conditional use 2514 West Wind Model Home. This is a single family dwelling unit. There's a temporary model home and office space at 3010 Rosalie Lane. It is zoned R3 single family, and it looks like it is lot number 1. You want to give us an overview on this one as well, please?
Also for a temporary model home, I think maybe a 2-year, just for the future phasing of it. Again, the window, we're reserving a few window lots. Well, to the left of it, there's a lift station to the right that we are working with, the developer and, city staff on.
Okay. Diane?
Yes, this is a bit of a rinse and repeat, but they are requesting a conditional use for a temporary model home and sales office. It's located on lot 1 of West Wind Phase 1. It's 0.17 acres and it is zoned medium high density, single family residential. And they are requesting to use this as a model home for 2 years. Like the previous one, they're not making any changes to the interior of the house, and they are not converting the garage to be used as sales space either. So it is surrounded, of course, by single family zoning within the subdivision to the northeast and west. And like the previous one, there is C2 commercial located to the south within that subdivision. Parking, same thing, use the residential driveway off of Rosalie with no on-street, with on-street parking available. There is one additional condition for this one for utilities. Per Centerton Utilities, the model home cannot operate or connect to the city sewer until repairs are completed on their lift station. Their lift station is currently flooding. So they're having to get all those repairs done before they can use this as a model home. And they are requesting licensed 2 years for this particular home. And same hours, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 days a week. With the 1 to 2 people. Staffing.
So my only, call it question or concern on this one. Is Stetson Drive completed yet?
So yes, yes.
It would be platted, right?
Mhm.
And so my biggest concern or comment, I guess, would be parking. If there happens to be 3 or 4 vehicles parked there and it's on a corner. And it looks like a 90-degree corner, plus it's at an entrance. So do we need, and I was trying to see how long that is to the entrance to the street. I wonder if we need to consider maybe restricting parking, if that makes sense. So, if it's only 20 feet and I don't know what that is, it's probably longer than that, but do we need to restrict parking if people turn in?
You probably definitely don't want to be parked right in that curve. I think those commercial lots.
Are they 50 foot
I'm
probably?
guessing, no, I think they're about 150 feet deep. Yeah, let's get a double check.
Cause then it looks like there's this little,
Looks like you got it.
Then there's a lift station in that little wonky corner there, and then the large parcel to the right is their pond.
yeah, I just think we should somehow try to limit does that make sense?
Yes.
So I think we should, I don't know if it's 100 feet or I don't know what people feel comfortable with, from the entrance. We should probably limit,
You're not gonna be able to block off the lift station access either.
Correct.
that's my feedback on, that.
You all own the lot or lots next door?
Yes. Minus the lift station lot.
Sure.
well, I say that, not the commercial lot either.
The residential.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments from any of the commissioners before we open it up to the public?
I was just gonna say, I looked down at the plat, farther down there, that lot that we're talking about is 142 feet on the east side. So I mean, using that for scale, you're probably a couple 100 feet from that intersection.
Okay. Yeah, I just, if 5 people show up, I just don't want,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
plus it's on that corner, so, and I know it's probably not to scale and probably looks sharper than it is, but still just want to be conscious of it, I think, for flow of traffic. If there's no other questions or comments, then I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So Joey, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second. Motion and a second to open the public hearing. Is anyone opposed? We are now open to the public. If anyone wishes to speak in regards to conditional use 2514 for West Wind Model Home, the single family dwelling unit at 3010 Rosalie Lane. Ask that you come to the podium, state your name and address. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Second call for anyone that wishes to speak. And third and final call.
I'll make a motion to close the.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. Is there anyone that's opposed? All right. Any of the commissioners opposed to 2 years on this one? No.
I did pull up how the driveway sits on that lot in the curve,
Okay.
so. Yeah,
Are y'all building out the rest of the residential on this, or do you?
Developer is, we purchased these lots from a developer and are just are building on them. So they're supposed to be working on that next phase for us.
Gotcha, okay, so that's why the 2 years, you wanna kind of roll it.
We want to leave it for the future phase. Yes, so we wouldn't have to move.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So so I just want to make sure, so you're comfortable? I don't know, how would we prevent people from parking?
I don't know if it's a temporary sign while you guys are open. I don't know. I'm open for suggestions and maybe you guys don't think it's a big deal. I just, if 5 or 6, 7 people, for whatever reason, start lining up on the street, entering the, if you're 30 foot of vehicle and 6 of them get in there, it adds up. So I was just throwing it out there as something we should think about. Do we draw it at 100 feet from the entrance and then ask them to put a sign up? I'm open for ideas and suggestions, I guess, is where I'm at.
Commercial lots are 150 feet wide, so the
Okay.
lot is more than 150 feet away from the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I see that they could park along the north side of the commercial lots.
Yes.
Is that a hydrant also in that corner besides to the lift station? There's probably, I don't know if there's no parking signs there already, but there should be something that doesn't block them. And typically, if you have 2 sales offices, you don't usually have a lot of people coming all at the same time. Unless you have an open house and you have multiple homes that you're showing or something, but.
No, we're still expecting about 5 people a week, so.
Are you doing it by appointment only?
No, we'll accept walk-ins. We have our sales staff that sits in the office throughout the week.
I'll just bring it up. If y'all don't think it's a,
If parking becomes an issue, then we can bring it back or address it then.
Alright.
Because a lot of times we just have to deal on case by case basis on where parking issues.
I was just asking.
No,
I think we'll hear about it if it's a fire issue. We'll hear about it if it's a access to the lift station issue, so. I think just making y'all aware.
We'll encourage staying away from that.
If there's no other,
signage too, making sure that there's signage there then.
Does that need to be a part of this approval?
I mean, I'm comfortable without it. I mean, I just think it's noted and. you know,
I'll
maybe-
make a note in there
Yeah.
in the approval letter that I sent to them. I will make a note that about parking and to stay away from that.
So with that, I would entertain a motion for the conditional use 2514 for the West Wind model home.
This is Joey. I'll make a motion to approve conditional use 2514 Swin model for a 2-year duration and note that there can be no connection to public utilities until there are repairs on the lift station.
You second.
Brendan,
A second.
All right, motion and a second.
get him over
If you'll do a roll call vote for me, please.
the books.
Curtis Ramsey,
Yes.
Devin Murphy,
Yes.
Brandon Swoboda,
Yes.
Joey Engel,
Yes.
Tony Davis,
Yeah.
Jeff Sci-Fi.
I'm a yes as well. Thank you for that. All right, next on the agenda this evening is also a public hearing. This is for conditional use 2515 Fox Haven office space. It is a single family dwelling unit as a temporary office space. It's at 610 Witten Road. It is zoned R3 single family, and this is lot 14. Walk me through your name, and then if you'll walk me through what you guys are requesting.
My name is Traveler Moore. I'm here on behalf of Schubert Mitchell Homes to request a conditional use permit. We're proposing the construction of a 2,500 square foot temporary office space within our Fox Haven community. This request has come from the recent loss of our commercial space in downtown Bentonville. While we're currently in active conversations for a used commercial space along I-49, this temporary space will help support our operations in the meantime. The office will be used by internal staff with 5 to 10 employees working on site daily. From time to time, we may host internal meetings with attendance reaching up to 15 to 20 people. No customers will be received at this location for parking. We will be accommodating staff through our lot driveways and existing paved parking spots. Those have a total of 60 between the two paved parking spaces. And we also have those lot driveways, which would be 66 in total.
So a little different than the previous two. So Diane, will you go through the staff report, please?
Yes. As Trevor mentioned, this is in the Fox Haven subdivision. It is lot number 14. And the office will be home for Schubert Mitchell's staff. At that point in time, in the interior, there are making changes to accommodate office space until it's converted back to a home. I do have a drawing of everything that's being converted included in your packet. Their hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, 8 AM to 5 PM, with 5 to 10 employees in the residential structure. There are 2 conference rooms and meetings. Will increase the number of staff to probably about 20 at a time, and no customers will come to the home. The planning commission has previously approved conditional use 2214, which allowed for 4 model homes and office space, a workhouse, and 2 parking. The conditional use was approved for 5 years, expiring. You go from 2022, it would be 2027. So 5 years. And it is surrounded by single family, R3 single family on all sides. The 5 homes that are currently in the Fox Haven subdivision are being used as model homes and office space for Schubert Mitchell homes, and their cars in the southern parking lot there. Staff vehicles and any of their vehicles that they use do get parked there. It is Monday through Friday, hours of operation. And of course, they have the residential driveway off Witten Road. And then there are the 2 paved parking lots, which Traveler said can hold 66 vehicles, and they are both parking lots are lighted. They have not requested a time period for the use. Staff suggests no more than the 2 years I'd love to match the existing model homes. But like I said, right now, everything in this subdivision is being used for a commercial use. And this one will be just strictly office space, not even a model home.
So this house is not built yet.
Correct, yes, sir.
When do you anticipate construction starting?
Tomorrow, if you get the approval, or we're ready to rock.
Okay. This is all that's done on the subdivision. Sorry, that's what I was about to ask.
Yes, that's all that's in there right now.
So help me understand a little bit. Is this a commercial property now?
No, sir. No, sir. This will just be a office space that we use. Well, would that be commercial technically?
That would be commercial.
The conditional use is for commercial
It
use.
is for commercial.
Yeah, so what does that, okay, so how does that impact?
We typically see one like standalone, right? Like what we just saw, but now we have a whole conglomerate of.
Yeah, so are the other existing model home office space that's already currently existing there, I'm asking the staff this question, are those considered commercial properties as well?
None of this is zoned commercial.
Correct.
They are using it as commercial. In their model homes, they have office space also. They also have a workhouse where employees come. Do you have a lot that where you keep equipment?
Yes, ma'am.
Storage?
That's the workhouse. Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, so right now we've got multiple spaces that are being used for commercial purposes in a residential area.
Yes.
Okay,
With the model home, historically, we've allowed a model home.
has there needed to be a conditional use permit of some kind for that or?
Anytime for a model home, yes, because it changes the intended use.
Right,
And we can put conditions on it, whether it's hours
sure.
of operation, things like that, and or parking or other things. And so that's the reason that we require the conditional use, along with the fact that if it's a condition and there happens to be issues, then it could be brought before us. But historically, it would be, like not just this previous two, but these guys have actually had model homes before in their subdivisions in which they would have a small parking lot. There would be 2 or 3 people working there,
Yeah,
like a model home. Now, this, in my mind, is it's strictly office. I mean, and I think, I don't want to speak for everybody. My thoughts are this is a subdivision. And there's office space around town, whether it's Centerton or other places for, that exist today versus waiting for 3 or 4 months for construction of a property that's strictly driven towards office that doesn't accommodate normal parking. So in my mind, if we were going to build an office space for 20 people, then we would require a certain amount of parking for 20 people along with some other things. That's just me speaking. But I will certainly open it up to any of the other commissioners that might have any questions or comments before we open it up to the public.
Question for staff. I mean, another thing to keep in mind is we have 4 existing homes with a conditional use permit until
2 more years.
2/7/27 that are being used. But for staff, I assume, I can't remember when that came through. I know I was here, but I can't remember the details of it. And obviously it looks like he tallied up the square footage, office usage, and calculated the parking that way. Is that correct?
Parking was what they decided that they were gonna use those 2 lots
Yeah.
for people to come and park and look at the houses and for staff to park also, since the other model homes are also being used as office space and.
Yeah, I think this is mainly for staff.
Right. And then the southern parking lot was gravel. I didn't know that one was to be paved. And it was for fleet parking. Overnight fleet parking. With those two, and staff parking.
And then what's a workhouse? What does that mean?
That's our service house. We just keep inventory extra for the service team to use.
So it's a house being used for commercial purposes to store your goods.
Yes, sir.
Was it already there or was it a new build?
That was a new build. Yes, sir.
Does that have did we know that, did I have a conditional use on it?
Those were all empty lots when I think
Right.
you
Right.
looked at this in 2022.
Correct.
But when it came in, to your question, when it came in is because they were closing and finishing up the one, north of town, not to get the,
Part.
yes, and so the intention was that this would then become their model homes instead of the ones in Orchard Park, and they Orchard Park was converted to residential.
Mhm.
That was the intent whenever this came in.
These would be model homes for all of their products that would be available in Centerton.
In
Now that's morphed.
cities, from what I understand.
We've morphed that a little bit. Now it's an office. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And storage, warehousing, and equipment storage.
House was approved with the original conditional use.
The workhouse was?
So that one expires in 2 years as well.
And have we calculated the number of parking spaces in both of those parking lots? Are they sufficient for all the commercial usage occurring?
66 parking spaces. Parking spaces. As painted currently. For this particular one, they would have up to 20 people there, but of course, we don't know how many people come to visit the homes.
Yeah.
How many different meetings that, you might have an extra 3 or 4 people there every day. And there's meeting space in one of the other homes also. From previously.
You figure there's 6 people in each house at a time, which I think is probably conservative. Plus, what'd you say, 20 people for this office?
This will just be 5 to 10 people. We'll have, it can go up to 15 to 20 if we do a meeting or anything like that, but in the house, it will be 5 to 10.
Office space is usually one parking space per 300 square feet.
I'm wondering, would fire marshal sign off on something like this?
I bet Paul's excited. I can see it.
So the way we view this is it's a business occupancy. It's under 49 occupant load, so the code doesn't really address it. The only thing that's required is a fire extinguisher. They don't even have to have exit signs and emergency egress lighting.
Even when there's 5 right next to each other,
They're independent
they're
buildings.
just moving like, okay.
Now, if they were attached, that would be obviously different. But since they're separate units, we view them individually. So.
Have you all had any issues with that? Have you had any issues as far as access? No?
Not in this area, other subdivision.
Any other comments before we open up to the public? We'll have more time, Brandon, don't worry.
Question. Is there any intent to look for commercial space and turn these back into residential at the end of 2027?
Yes, ma'am. They will turn back into residential. We're in active talks right now on a commercial space along I-49 that we're looking into. That whenever 2027 comes, we'll all be moving to.
That's the case, why 5 years on this one? Not just make it match the
They didn't ask for a time.
Yeah, there's no time on it.
I thought 5 years.
No, the original was approved for 5.
That's right. So to clarify, how much time is being asked for this?
The recommendation was to run it through, is it
2/7/27. They didn't, according to this, they didn't request a duration.
And the original conditional use also restricted any home sales in this subdivision until after the conditional use expired.
Wait. Say that one more time?
They cannot build homes to sell in this subdivision until the model home uses are done in 2027. So after that 5 years, then they could sell homes within the subdivision.
I don't remember that.
That's interesting.
But they could revert back if they chose to
It-
switch the use, they could at that point.
Yeah. I think the idea was because this is more commercial as a subdivision as a whole, you didn't want one person buying a house in there and then being surrounded by commercial
100%.
activities.
Okay, I'm gonna open up to the public and then I'm sure we'll come back and visit, so. I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
For 3, this is Joey. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? We are now open to the public. If anyone has any questions, comments, concerns in regard to the conditional use 2515 Fox Haven office space, which is a single family dwelling unit as a temporary office space at 610 Witten Road. It is zoned R3 single family. We'd ask that you come to the podium. State your name, address, and any questions, comments, or concerns you might have. Second call for anyone who wishes to speak. And third and final call.
This is Joey. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. You can give it to whichever one you want. And I will then ask if there's any additional questions or comments or concerns from any of the commissioners before we take a vote.
Have there been any complaints from the 2 neighbors closest that we know of?
Where we're at.
And were there notices sent out and for this, or did there need to be, or?
Public hearing, so yeah, right?
No, they don't have to be with the conditional use, because I asked, you said.
Similar.
Even though it's a public hearing?
Well, everyone around them is them, except, right. I mean, the property, did they post the property?
Yes.
It is that lot?
So the people behind them don't, the people with the pool don't know. Is that the way that I would?
I mean, it was published and there's a sign posted for the conditional use.
But
But no mail out?
notice with the property.
Was that? Is that typical?
If it doesn't,
Or did we just miss it? Or?
well, usually we look at the impact to, well, on whether we do individual mailings. We probably should have done those 2 since they're adjacent to there. Wouldn't really affect anyone else there, but
I also think,
I think we looked at it that, well, they own all the lots, so we were.
and who's the developer across Bliss?
That's,
Gosh.
Is that?
Yeah, the Skyline Cottages.
West, they own.
Yeah,
They
they
own all
own,
the stuff to the
yeah,
west.
that's
That'll be Fox Haven phase 2.
phase 2.
How many total lots will be in this subdivision when it's all said and done? Do you remember that?
This one has.
Is it just those?
one is a detention.
Right.
The front one's a detention, I called them. Hold on.
There's 18.
I think from,
18.
I think what I'm struggling with is model homes with a couple of staff there, manning that is typical. And we vote yes, and we move with it. I don't know that I would even if I didn't know their circumstances, someone coming in and saying, we want to put a home in there and we want to office 20 people out of it. I don't know that I would say yes to that. I wanna help because it sounds like y'all are in a bind. But at the same time, I don't know that I would vote yes for that if I didn't know your circumstance. Does that make, am I communicating that clearly?
I think though,
Yeah.
you know, with these being their model homes right next door to, I mean, they've got a vested interest to keep it nice and make sure there's parking and it's not just a mess because it's affecting their potential buyers at that point. So I mean, I think there's some security for us in that way.
You all own, I assume this is the case, you own all the lots in that.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, so really they own everything in there.
Yeah.
There's nobody living there because of the first conditional use, because that's what they wanted to do. But yeah, I understood what you were saying.
And I understand that. I'm just wondering when the next developer comes and says, hey, we're in a bind and we don't want to go get office space. And so we'd like to turn our next one in and we'd like to house our staff there. I mean, I feel like once we say yes, then we start doing that and when do we say no?
Yeah,
That doesn't fit.
I don't disagree. I mean, because what makes it unique enough just because they own the other. Yeah.
And also, I mean,
We're gonna have a chance to vote here in a minute, but
if I were a developer across the street. And then the home next to what I want them to be officing their people. Anyway.
Recommend that we tie this to the same date as the other.
For sure.
You guys built your office here in Centerton.
Stated as a condition.
Yeah, this is unique in the fact that they do own all the lots.
Yeah.
So we're not affecting any neighbors in this current subdivision we're talking about. So this is a unique set. So
I think that's the
that's why
only saving grace here.
yeah, that's the only, yes, I agree.
But in my mind, I mean, they've got 4 places for people to work today. If there's only 5 of them, I'm just, I think there's lots of different
Yeah.
questions that I have. I don't necessarily disagree with Brandon on the precedent either. So anyway, but we'll all get a chance to vote here in a minute. Are there any other questions or comments before we take a vote? Then I would entertain a motion for conditional use 2515, the Fox Haven office space, single family dwelling unit as a temporary office at 610 Witten Road.
This is Joey. I'll make a motion to approve conditional use 2515, the Fox Haven office space. With the duration to expire with the existing conditional use on the existing structures on February 7th of 27.
Second. I have a motion and a second. If you'll do a roll call for me, please.
Joey Engel,
I'm going with yes, because the entire subdivision is essentially locked down until this conditional use is up.
Devin Murphy,
Yes.
Tony Davis,
Yes, with the same reason that Joey stated.
Brandon Swoboda,
No. Out of precedence.
Curtis Ramsey,
Yes.
Jeff Seifarth.
And I'm a no as well. 4-2. It passed. Thank you and good luck.
Yes.
All right, next on the agenda is development 2413. Walmart Supercenter preliminary plans and adjacent street agreement. It's at the corner of Main Street and Highway 102. It is zoned C2, 33 acres. Is the applicant here to give us an overview?
Evening, Candace Anderson with CEI. Nice to see everyone again. It's been some time. We have submitted multiple submittals for this project. We are at a good place right now with our last submittal. And we're wrapping up just minor comments with the staff and look forward to get those comments here in the next few weeks back over to city staff and our ADH submittal as well.
Kayla?
Okay. This property is located along South Main Street, directly south of McDonald's, which is zone C2, and west of Stone Lay Apartments Phase 2, which is zoned R4MF. To the south is undeveloped zoned A1, and to the north, there are 3 outlots owned by Walmart Real Estate Business Trust, zone C2. The applicant is proposing a Walmart supercenter, which will consist of approximately 120,000 square feet of retail, 1,000 square feet of warehouse for a total building size of a little over 178,000 square feet. The applicant is also proposing a fuel station and convenience store with a floor area of a little over 1,600 square feet. This property is zoned C2 highway commercial, with a front setback of 50 feet, street and side setback of 10 feet, rear setback of 25 feet, and C2 zoning does allow both fuel stations and retail stores by right. Both buildings meet setback requirements. For utilities, an 8-inch water line will be constructed on the west side of the proposed Sienna Drive to service this property, and an 8-inch sewer line will be constructed on the east side of Sienna Drive to service this property. Additional utility changes may be needed in the future to coordinate utility relocation for the RDOT widening of Highway 102, but Malcolm was confident that any of those changes wouldn't require site design changes, just a little shifts in some easements, so he was fine with it coming to planning commission for preliminary approval. He does have some other minor comments on the plan, but they were substantially approved by Centerton Utilities. As a note, this project will be placed on the sewer priority list based on the date of PC approval, the date when all staff comments are addressed, and then when all ADH comments are addressed. Just like every other project we've approved that's been held up by the theater capacity situation. So that's how we've been handling it. We should have a list available soon for the public. Bear with me, the drainage, floodplain, and wetlands is going to be lengthy because our city engineer's not here, so he provided all of this wonderful information. So, the Walmart development has been reviewed as meeting the requirements per the Centerton Drainage Manual. The site will consist of 2 ponds on the east side of the site near the extension of Sienna Road, and will discharge to the northeast corner of the site, where flow will go under Highway 102 to the Centerton Pond and eventually continue northeast through McKissick Creek. The Walmart site is located with floodplains and wetlands existing on site. A floodplain permit and LOMR were performed back in 2014. They also have a permit with the United States Army Corps of Engineers and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services with the wetlands. That permit included additional stipulations on the side of the pond as well as the design. Those requirements for the pond was to be designed as a marsh pond for the improved water quality with a total volume to be approximately 500,000 cubic feet, both of which they have met. Marsh ponds have more vegetation, a forebay, and micro pools, as well as the typical restrictor for detention. North Pond is a marsh pond, and the south is the typical dry detention pond. South Pond is under the 100-foot power easement crossing the site. Additionally, when development occurred west of the site, flow was proposed to cross under Main Street and continue towards the Centerton Pond, but currently is dammed by Main Street and flows south to Osage Creek. With this development and the widening of Main Street per the master street plan, this flow will be picked up and brought back to original flows through a bypass around the site. This bypass will first flow through a water quality pond on the south side of the site. The site is designed to include the gas station, convenience store, as well as full development of the outlots without any additional detention or treatment to occur on site. Both ponds are designed with safety fencing around the ponds with access gates as required per code. The design for the fence and the drainage manual is still set as something that the planning commission can set. Current proposal is for a 6-foot silver chain link fence as shown in the details. This is acceptable for engineering purposes, but it's up to you guys to determine the actual design criteria. So that's up for your guys' consideration. As planning staff, we would recommend at least black chain link, if not something more stringent. The city engineer has approved the drainage for this development. For the adjacent street agreement, South Main Street is designated as a minor arterial with a planned right of way of 90 feet per the master street plan. This development will dedicate an additional 12.5 feet to provide the total 45 feet of right of way. And then they will develop the road to provide the 38 feet back of curb street section, including a 12-foot turning lane, 2-foot curb and gutter, streetlights, and street trees. And then per the master trails plan, McKissick Spring Loop is planned along South Main Street. So this development will construct a 12-foot trail along their property. For Sienna Drive, they're doing an extension of Sienna Drive along their property. So they'll be providing 80 feet of right of way for a minor collector. This collector was not planned on the master street plan. So they'll construct the 26-foot back of curb road with curb and gutter for the first 790 feet, which is to their first entrance, and dedicate the right of way for the full road all the way down to their property line. The Public Works Director has agreed to construct the other half of the road at a future time. Additionally, the developer will construct a 10-foot trail on the east side of the road with a 5-foot sidewalk connection to the convenience store and fuel station. Streetlights will be provided every 200 feet and at every intersection. Street trees will be provided as shown on their landscaping plan. Just as a note for you guys, a signal will be installed at the intersection of Sienna Road, or Sienna Drive, and Highway 102. For RDOT, additional improvements to Highway 102 are required to allow for this signal, including all of the entrances between Sienna and North Main Street becoming right in, right out only entrances with a painted median, I believe. And those preliminary plans are in the Dropbox. They've been in there for the last week and a half for you guys to review. And then there is an unnamed minor collector along the south property line. So they'll dedicate 40 feet of right of way to meet the master street plan. As recommended by the city engineer and public works director, no other improvements or fee in lieu are being proposed for this road due to the number of improvements being completed on Sienna Drive and North Main Street. Staff recommends approval of the adjacent street agreement pending one minor comment. For the parking, the ratios per code are broken down in your packet for you. Essentially, for the retail, for the supercenter, they needed 636 spaces, and then for the warehouses, they needed 104 for a minimum of 740 spaces required per code. They're proposing 759 spaces, which exceeds the code requirement, and that excludes the spaces that get taken up for the car corrals. And then for the fuel station, they needed 9 spaces per code, and they're providing 17. A photometric plan was provided, and adequate lighting is provided for the site. Parking lot lighting is provided within islands and on the building, as well as along the roads and at entrances. Landscaped islands are provided in the parking lot, every about 10 to 11 spaces to break up the long runs of parking. Please keep in mind this development was submitted before Title 15 got enacted, so they didn't have the full code to have to adhere to. I think they did a pretty good job though. There are a few areas of 12 to 14 runs of parking without an island. Additional landscaping is provided within detention ponds, preserved wetlands areas, and along the streets. The trees along North Main Street are provided outside of the right of way due to utility conflicts. Pond landscaping is shown per the landscaping plan. There's no additional pond landscaping beyond the extensive requirements for the marsh pond on the north pond. And then the south detention pond has trees shown along the south and east sides where it's outside of the 100-foot easement. No landscaping is shown on the north and east. And then half of the east side pond does not have landscaping due to the stormwater. Staff recommends approval of the landscaping plan. A trash enclosure will be provided for the fuel station and will be made of concrete masonry blocks with a metal gate. And that elevation was included in your packet for you. And then the supercenter will have a trash compactor on the south side of the building. There are minor outstanding comments on the plans and adjacent street agreement. regarding labeling. So we recommend any approval given be contingent on staff comments being addressed. Happy to answer any.
What we got? So there's about 9 drives on the north side of 102 that'll change to right hand only. Is that? My math was,
Yeah, that's what they've been working.
That's what our dog is requesting, that they're only gonna be able to turn at Sienna Drive.
It's a right in, right out.
You can't even turn into them except the bank? Was there one that they could turn into?
Oh, wait.
right turn, you mean,
I mean, turn left, if you're heading east, you can turn left. Here,
It'd be a left out.
How do they get to?
turn left.
If you're at the light.
If you're eastbound,
I
maybe
can-
there would seem like that there was one exception that they could do, but
so they're not gonna let them turn in the shopping center?
I don't believe so.
So they'll have to turn in Sienna and then take the little back road. And then come in the backside.
In, if you're headed from the west to the.
If you're
east.
heading westbound, it's no right.
But they cannot, turn front.
I mean, it's just like they'll save Paul a lot of runs from the, I hope.
Due to the proximity of the traffic signal.
I was talking about,
Intersection.
yeah.
We've been talking about that for a while, so.
I was talking about the businesses on the north side are restricted also.
Those little 18 inches.
I don't even know if it's gonna be a real median. It might just be paint.
They are.
Gonna work.
So they did add them.
Yeah. That's still in review with RDOT.
Okay.
Just put a little, yeah. Big truck guys will run.
I think they can turn at Fair. Was there one place they can turn?
I thought it was a street.
Fair Street.
Fair Street.
I think they can turn at Fair Street is the
Oh,
alternate
there's one, I don't,
turn.
because Alan came over, talked with myself and Chief before he approved.
Yeah, unfortunately, that back road is not, I don't necessarily consider it a street. I mean, I know it somewhat is, but it's pretty.
It's actually a street, but they're looking at making improvements to it also.
Candace, thoughts on the color of the fence other than a gray metal fence?
Thoughts. My own personal thought is, we're working with what is applied to the Muni code. No, it's up to the PC.
So you're black, you're asking about the chain link is the wrought iron.
Yeah, and I,
Basically.
yeah, or, I mean,
What's the deck? Yeah.
I'd like to see,
yeah, so.
I'd like to see
I
something.
don't know that we specify wrought iron.
In the wetlands, we do have significant shrubs and trees, so it helps to enhance those areas a little bit more so.
I don't think we're necessarily talking about screening, just the look of a
Just the look of it,
fence, yeah.
Paint it black, it just disappears in the landscape.
black chain link.
Sounds crazy. I mean, you can go to Sam's Club and see that thing.
Yeah, I don't think chain link.
Let's keep it pretty.
Only thing with the wrought iron is sooner or later, somebody will hit it with a mower or a truck, and then you've got a big damaged panel. If they back into it. with
Well,
chain link,
it doesn't necessarily have to be wrought iron, but it can be one of the decorative like vertical style.
Yeah. Just throwing that out for consideration.
I think that's.
Are you, would you be open to a combination depending on whether it's seen or not seen? This is my other question. So let's say it was all black. Some could be chain link where it may be more hidden versus maybe some decorative where it's more visual.
From the road, visible from the roadway, yes.
Yeah.
Definitely visible.
Is that something that y'all could live with?
For just the areas with the fence lines. And not the wetland adjacent to 102, because we did not propose fence at those two.
Just whatever's required.
Yeah.
Anything, yeah.
Just where you're showing.
The 3 ponds, or actually the 2 ponds and then the pond diversion on the
And-
side.
We're just saying decorative, saying black. Does that work?
Try to get the whole side up here for you so you can.
I'd say
Even black.
keep it pretty.
All right, I gotta ask. Thank you for the islands in the middle. What's the thought? And I understand like, you know, the striping by all the ADA areas down on the south side. I totally get that. But what's the thought on just striping the ones on the north side? Would a curb not benefit like and add some protection to the signage and the lights that are proposed in there?
I don't know specifically which ones you're talking.
The ones on the north drive,
Mhm.
they're all striped. But between the north-south parking and that head-end parking, yeah, those where your cursor just was.
The planning staff agreed with our islands because we did previously have a few, it was random. Few islands on the north side and the south side, but in order for us to add the additional parking and expand our parking lot here, we just threw the landscape islands in the middle. It was more of a breakup for the sea of pavement along the parking lot, so
I
that's.
just think as your main drive in off of Main Street, that would look a lot better.
Well, they originally had come with that
Yeah.
and then.
And y'all talked them out of it?
Yeah.
And so
Oh.
it was either ends or in the middle.
Not necessarily.
I mean, in order for them to get their parking spaces.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't have a problem with how they have the parking design at all. And maybe it's just my opinion, but I think it would look better. Just me. That's all I'm gonna say.
I kind of like it clean.
Striped on the ends. You would prefer to have landscape.
Correct. I think it would define that drive. I think it would look a lot better.
It's just painted right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, okay, I'm following you now. That's painted, not landscape.
Because they did the islands
The
in the
only
middle.
islands are those skinny ones in the middle.
Yeah, let's get some.
Thinking about people cutting the corners too.
Exactly.
Like cutting the corners and visual. People who are driving out of that parking lot is a visual.
You could plant your trees where they don't have limbs way down here.
One thing that they had proposed before is every other one, so that it kind of defined.
I would be open to that. I think that would look better. I just think the whole row of stripe.
I agree.
This is under the old Title 15 code, so you.
No, but the old Title 15 says we can.
It doesn't, it does require parking. Yeah, you can require.
I'm open to every other one. And frankly, on the south, I completely get it. I think pedestrian ability, you're great.
Hi, Will Kellstrom here on behalf of Walmart. So the problem was earlier, because I've talked to him about this landscaping issue, and I think I actually talked to you about it on the phone as well, Joey, is that earlier we had them alternated, and I even did ask him the question, why can't we just turn those stripes into grass? And I think that there's a problem with if you leave them exactly the shape that they are, you're gonna end up with some of them being so narrow that they're gonna be difficult to paint the landscape and may not even look that well. What if you round them off and make them square? Then we're cannibalizing spaces, which is putting us.
Well, can I interject here? I've obviously done civil site design for 20 years, right? The only thing you're gonna do is curve the edges, the hard 90-degree edges on the interior of the parking stalls, like where you would turn into it. You're not gonna lose any stalls. You're gonna put like a 3-foot radius on those hard points, and they've already got them radius on the edges, the outside. So I really don't think you're gonna lose any parking stalls.
So there are also, Walmart maintains internal policies about how they want their parking to be for safety and for operational efficiency, and I've
Line.
well, I mean, I'm just saying, it's more difficult to, trust me, I've on multiple occasions, say, why can't we just plug that thing in there? No, it's, so we worked through a bunch of different scenarios with this, and in order for them to have landscape islands up there on the top that look nice and are efficient to maintain and don't die, we will have to cannibalize some parking.
How do you not have issues with the smaller ones in the middle if you're saying these are too small up top? And they already came with these to staff I think, completely curved on the top. So, I mean, that was the original ask. I think every other one, or I think that's a fair ask.
Talking about on the south side, that point in the middle of the island. When you make that a radius, is that what you're saying is the problem?
So the previous versions had them squared off, kind of like almost like half circles. And where you lost those two spaces up top, it was regained with there being no parking island in the middle. And so the request was, we'd like more islands, so this is what we came to. But there's ultimately,
It's like islands, that was the request.
I thought it was like, we'd like more islands with landscaping,
Right.
not just we'd like more islands.
We would like any landscape
That was the
island.
conversation. I thought that's how we originally had, was we were trying to keep this as natural as possible because we're the natural state and we're developing Centerton. And so as much landscaping possible and keeping it as natural as possible, I thought was the goal of our last conversation with him. And so we didn't want just a sea of parking spaces and a sea of a parking lot. That would not look good for our city. And
certainly, that's why we came back with.
yeah, which I very much appreciate. I really do. Y'all really put some thought into that. I appreciate that. I think I'm with Joey, and I think we do have some space to give a little bit with parking that I'd like to see, based on his recommendation, something done with that as well. Instead of just a stripe.
We did add additional landscape to the perimeter of the site.
Appreciate that.
Enhancement.
I saw, yeah, it looks good.
Replaced for the sea of pavement, and we tried the best we could to enhance the exterior of the.
And I see that. Y'all did good.
We actually added additional landscape prior to our or even after our last meeting that we had relating to these landscape islands.
That's good.
Some of those islands, I can see them being a maintenance concern.
For sure. We can keep the small ones striped.
I mean, I think the other point would be that Walmart has also, they have certain aesthetic standards that they want to abide by when they do things like this. And I don't know that those jagged landscape islands, just simply sticking a curb around them is, I don't know that's something that they'd want to do. So we'd be looking at, I mean, basically reconfiguring this thing, and we'd have to eat about, it looks like if there's 9 of those and we do every other one, or we'd be eating 6 or 7 parking spaces that we're gonna have to go and stick somewhere else.
You're 19
over.
You're 19 over
We're over,
already.
so that'll work.
Simple math on the paper, says you're 19 over already.
And green space wise, we're like the percentage of green space and.
There's a ton because of the conservation.
Yeah, because of the conservation.
I assume that we,
Yeah.
Breakdown for that.
It does look great. I mean, props to y'all everywhere else. It does look amazing.
So think about this, then we'll, I mean, think we're open to compromise. What about, you keep going out on me here. What about the first 2? So like as people enter, you've got obviously the trees on the left that are along Main Street. What about those first 2?
Be traffic concerns there.
I think it would help traffic because you're actually changing the direction. It looks like you got a taper going on in that drive lane. Is that correct?
That's correct. We do have a taper, but that stop sign or that stop bar there, if there is landscape, it would prevent that visual eyes.
Obviously, you can't put it in the sight triangle, right, when you're stopped. So, yeah, we need to pull it back so it doesn't blind people for sure.
You're asking for a redesign of the parking lot. Are you asking to some of the parking stalls?
So I
Enhance?
think you can keep what you have and just put some radius on those corners, offset the line, show it as a curb, and show some landscaping, you're good to go. Y'all were saying that that's not acceptable and that's gonna change the parking.
So I wanna be clear. I don't want to come off as saying that we're not willing to look to find a compromise. What I'm instead saying is that sometimes what seems very simple to everyone else gets met back with, we can't do that. So it's,
You want the actual site plan, Candace?
Please. Let me get to it.
Going back on,
Let's just zoom in or anything
um,
on the parking.
yeah, let's just use an example here on the entrance on the west side of the front portion of, yeah, right there by the stop sign go, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Yeah, let's zoom in there. So Walmart standardization, we usually have a 2-foot concrete buffer on our islands for that purpose of traffic going over the curbs. If we were to add that, more than likely we would have to add some of those concrete buffers there and some of those islands. But it could be a compromise. We'd have to speak with our client about.
You got some bigger ones, right? Like the one next to that and then the one, you know, the fourth down. I understand the small ones where that would totally eat that up.
Even if you came back with two, just,
2 islands, additional landscape islands.
one, I'm just trying to, you said big one, so I'm just trying to. do
Yeah, I'm
math.
just saying.
I
yeah,
mean-
let's-
There'd be a little bit of
the-
concern there on yeah, in this area here on the west, or excuse me, on the east side, because there is a French drain. And there's also sanitary sewer and another drainage pipe in this area, but we can compromise to farther for the east side. If you,
Yeah,
yeah, there's
totally. That's
a lot of utilities in this area.
totally understandable. The little buffer that you're talking about, is it just east of that other stop bar to the right?
That's an example of what we would
And
do.
I'll just do those in the corners.
Yes. Another example would be just up there by the fuel station as well. With the radius of the radii of the corner there.
Can you see if you could squeeze a couple out of the larger islands? I think that's all we're asking for.
so, we, as much as we do not want to delay this again, where this is stuff like this is stuff we have to go get permission for. I don't necessarily feel comfortable saying yes to anything tonight.
I guess you want to table it then?
I mean, I think we'll have to while we go and look for a solution. And again, it's because of some of these standardized things that Walmart has that it makes it difficult for me in particular, not being an engineer, to go, sure, we'll throw one in right there, and I don't wanna.
When y'all had it the first time, were those northern islands like significantly bigger? When y'all brought it in?
Yes, I think the ones that they were, now Candace can probably remember this better than I do, but if I seem to recall that they were alternating, and it was basically the trade-off between, you would have one at the top, one in the middle, and alternating, top and middle like that.
Both in cap. Yeah, we alternated.
In
cap.
caps,
Yeah.
yes, in caps with islands on each row, alternating.
Your question was, were they larger? No. We had to accommodate less amount of parking. So we had a different footprint at that time that was kind of shifted in a different location, so if.
For the building?
Yes, and it changed the parking lot overall, and therefore when we had to accommodate to your previous request on these landscape islands, there was a big shift in our footprint. And of course, in addition to more parking stalls as well. So we had to cram it all in as much as we could.
I can pull up the old site plan for reference.
I don't think it's gonna, I mean, it's not gonna change our decision or anything like that.
Y'all mentioned warehouses? I didn't see that.
There's a where, it's like a storage it's a storage for .com.
For, yes, for delivery.
Yeah.
I was just in terms
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's
I got you.
it's not like a Walmart warehouse. It's accessory to the grocery store usage.
Is it like the north side of Bentonville or not that pronounced?
Which,
100 across from the old home office? Where they built the warehouse? Is it similar? No.
it's what we're talking about here is the OPD on the east side of the building.
Okay.
That's all pickup, and that would be considered the warehouse. In addition to, we have also the tire shop that would have some warehouse.
So, I mean, the other solution I can suggest is, I do believe we're the last thing on the agenda. If you can table us for 10 minutes and we can make a phone call and we can try to do that. If we wanna solve it tonight.
We're gonna have that asked. Yeah, I'd love to get it settled, right?
For us to get this tonight, because we don't want to delay it any further than what we have already been delayed.
If we approve it and let staff. If they don't get the islands, then we're gonna end up back here anyway. So if you can make a 2-minute phone call and come back.
I think that would be I almost suggested earlier, maybe we just figure out how to put in X number extra, but that also, that could turn into an issue for what you just said, so that's not gonna work there. Can we go into recess, Brian?
Let's take a recess.
Okay.
You guys want to
Can we do that?
take a motion real quick and
What?
yeah.
All right, technically, well, yeah, it's the last thing, so.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion to take a brief recess.
Motion recess briefly.
Second, okay. Is anyone opposed? All right.
Thank you all.
All this special consideration.
Back in.
I see Will Kilstrom, I know it's trouble.
Never mind, I gotta see that.
What's that?
It's over this.
They painted the movement.
On board, or,
Yeah.
I've been,
You want me to, I'll go call Doug if that's what I need.
another.
Oh, like, it's not super.
Sounds cool. Yeah, that's nice.
Already.
All right, we'll let him call the meeting back. Are we missing? No, do we? It's here.
Okay. Well, he's off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you were here.
Oh, I said.
Okay.
Supposed to do that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just didn't announce it.
Yeah, he was slid back, but I told him he really needs to stand.
All right, I will call the City of Centerton Planning Commission back to order. We don't need a motion for that, do we?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Will?
So, we were not able to get our client on the phone who we were talking to, out there. We're managed to get other members of the consultant team on the phone, specifically another engineer at CEI that's worked on this site plan. And he kind of confirmed what we were trying to say earlier, which is that we have monkeyed around a couple different ways with trying to figure out how to fit enough parking in the front so that it's actually used while adding more landscape islands, and we're just out of room. And again, that is to be able to add landscape islands that satisfy y'all's wants and also satisfy Walmart's internal policies with what these landscaping islands need to look like for maintenance and safety and all those concerns. So we've tried, this was what you're looking at is what our proposal for the comments that we got last time on the islands. So I mean, I think past that point, I guess it's up to y'all at this point.
You didn't take into consideration the extra parking that you had?
Well, so it would bring us down in order to add islands that satisfy our Walmart's internal policies and are also look good and achieve the effect that y'all are asking for, it would end up taking us below 4.0.
Do you know what those standards are? So I can understand.
For Walmart standards and parking is usually, usually we try to maintain a 4.5 parking ratio.
No, not just on the islands.
Yes, the standards, it's the width. It's also what we require within the site, like the landscape buffer. There's certain standardizations that we have. I really can't. Besides that, and also the radius, oh goodness, I had some information here I will share with you real quick.
Obviously, it's not the size because we have the smaller ones internal, and those are way smaller than the striped areas on the north. Oh, there we go. Look,
Harder to get compaction.
islands.
Oh, is this the Rogers? Oh, yes, this was actually out of the ordinary. This was not a typical Walmart store. We did the best we could to accommodate to Rogers.
That's great. Let's do that.
Because it's close to people to make decisions.
I mean, I can't argue with y'all that I do see an asymmetrical island right there, but I also am sitting here telling you that I can't approve that
That's fine.
without anyone, without permission.
Totally fine.
So one of our options would be to approve it.
Yeah.
With the contingency that you make additional phone calls tomorrow or tonight on your way home, or whatever that might be. And say, well, gosh, they showed me some pictures. I didn't have any great defense because of that. It'd have to be, in Rogers, and I'm sure if we Googled, we could probably find many, many more that are out there. And I don't think we're asking for anything crazy, because again, you're over the parking spaces. So if you lose up to 19, then you're still within our guidelines. And I don't know if that gets you to the 4.5 or 4.2, whatever that number gets with. So we could technically approve it, and then you don't have to come back here if you call staff and say, gosh, worked with the team and we came up with 2. And I'm just picking a number of 2. You could go to staff and say, we're all good. and then, you know, we don't see you again until the grand opening. Or we can table it, then you gotta come back and see us, which I don't think that's necessary, right? I mean, I see you shaking your head. I don't wanna, I mean, so that's or we could just deny it. So there's really, those are the three options that I see tonight, so that it gives you a little bit of time to talk to friends and family tomorrow.
It would, I mean, the condition to go back and confer with our client and then go talk to staff, I mean, I guess it just depends on what the language of that condition is. If it's, you know, we're gonna agree to provide exactly 7 islands, I don't know if.
I don't know that we necessarily have to have
I think,
I don't think we have to specify a number. Now, we can. Whether we pick 2, if we pick, I don't think half is the right number. And we may all disagree on, so it may take us more time than it took you to make a phone call. Cause I do think the larger ones, which there's only 2 or 3 of the larger ones, are probably the best option.
We'll get more islands than that Bentonville Walmart.
They're very short rows. And then there's a big landscape.
Could we approve? I mean, Joey, are you like, we need to set a number?
I'm afraid if we don't, we're gonna come back with 1 and that's all we're doing.
We could set a minimum. We could say a minimum of 2. I mean, we could do it that way, and then that gives them an option. I don't know if that's agreeable or not.
Caitlin, y'all? Maureen, do y'all have a recommendation?
There are 6 or 7 sets of parking rows. You could do add these 3.
There's 13 striped islands on that top.
I've got a
6.
Yeah, we got.
question. These 3 lots that are between Centerton Boulevard and the parking lot. What kind of landscaping requirements are gonna be along that south property line? And I'm wondering, cause I mean, if there's a green space screen required there, maybe it'll help alleviate some of this.
That would be, I mean, is that a public right of way or is it a private?
It's all private.
Private.
Commercial to commercial, right?
What landscape requirements would be required along that southern border of the out parcels?
Yeah, buff landscape.
5 foot of landscaping on the parking. On the other side of the parking, is that what you're talking about?
There's a
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
Belonging zones to.
Oh, but you mean on the perimeter.
Yeah. And that setback, I guess. I don't know if that sways anything, but
I don't know if this is reasonable or not. There's 13. We were talking about half, all around down to 6. And hopefully we can hit that. That's just my idea.
Those 4 on the easterly side, we have to be considerate about those because of the utility.
I will also say if
There's
the
just 1 with a trench grate in it. Let's just be clear though. So I think there's 1.
Utility planting. Let's be sure.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Okay, but that's only 4 that they can't do. So either way.
So could you go to 4, Joey? I guess.
Why would I go to 4? There's 13. Surely we can find 6.
Asking.
it's, if the condition is to. The applicant must install X number of landscape islands, my concern is that. We're gonna be right back here again at some point with a redesign, asking for a modification of the large scale.
I think we're just trying to find a way that y'all can get approval contingent upon this. And obviously, there's not a desire to add landscape islands from your client's side or y'all's side. And so I'm worried about from the city side. not specifying that and not getting something that meets the intent of what we're asking for.
This, I mean, again, this proposal that you're looking at was our attempt to meet the intent of the comments of the last time this was in front of you. There was.
Pretty sure when we came with the variance, we were talking about island caps on the end and then a island in the middle every 11 or 12 spots, right? So we've come back with half of that.
Well, our understanding was islands every 11 to 12 spots, and that's what we've come back with.
I'm on 6. Yeah, that's y'all decide if that's fair or not.
What's that thing?
It's all up to you all.
Oh, wait.
I'll remind you guys that this is kind of the keystone to the beginning of our new downtown.
I know.
So
That's the, yeah.
That's why we should get all of them.
I don't think it's unreasonable. I mean, we're looking
It's
at
not.
the one in Rogers and this is our focus of our town that we're trying to develop.
We're arguing over islands.
If we can make it nicer, that's the way we want to go, because this is our town's focal point. Start and we just have a parking lot. I mean, it doesn't spread, it doesn't give the message that we're trying to.
Sure, I mean, I think some of y'all have worked with me enough to know that if I had the ability, I would.
Sure.
I'd figure something out right now. I don't. That's the problem.
And I really did like Joey's point about defining that drive in some way. So that people aren't driving over site parking, you know, but because it is a key drive through there.
It's the main entrance.
especially because you'll only be able to access those 3 outlots through this drive as well. So,
And there are landscape trees in those islands as well.
yes.
Well, if it is between a condition to find somewhere to add 6 and a tabling, or a denial, I think we probably just need to table them, because I think a condition that requires us to add a certain amount, again, I think it's possible that we're gonna end up back here asking to amend the plan. And we certainly don't want to get denied either. So, I mean, I think I think we're headed towards a tabling. That's what we're gonna have to do.
Okay. I mean, I think we're open. I mean, obviously you can't offer anything.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a solution on how to meet our intent and without defining a number?
I mean, it's difficult for me because I'm not an engineer, and then on top of that, there are, on top of the fact that I do not design these projects, there are also additional constraints that Walmart places on its own developments that I'm not fully familiar with.
Yeah, well, we have constraints too.
Sure, I understand. As you know, I would normally be up here trying to figure out how to meet in the middle. I don't have.
I think the more we talk about it, the more convinced I get. I don't want to budge. I mean, I agree. We gotta have it. It's a main drive in. This is going into our downtown. We gotta have it.
I mean, frankly, it should be all of them, but I think we're trying to work with you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
That's my position. Sorry, I'm not speaking for everybody up here.
Where I'm at.
Candace, any engineering thoughts besides the one that has a French drain?
I just have concerns about the parking count. 6 islands, for example, what he had just mentioned, 6 islands would definitely constrain us. We can add additional landscape on the perimeter. We can add landscape in other areas that we can buff up a little bit more. It's this whole sea of pavement is really difficult to already. We came back, this is our 3rd time relating to these these issues, and we just want to make sure that we can accommodate somewhere else instead of these landscape islands. Like I said, the perimeter, we can buff it up a little bit more. It is difficult.
What's our parking? Again, I'm trying to.
They have 19 more than what's required.
By code, they have to have 740 and they have 759.
From a civil design standpoint, Walmart is for us, it's really important for us to maintain those standardizations. Without that approval from our client, it's hard for us to stand here and say, yes, we agree with that. So
Sure.
if there is some type of other compromise, we can discuss that with our client. Those landscape islands, it's just very difficult for us to agree upon that at this time.
Candace, what did you say your Walmart's ratio of parking was? 4 per 1,000 square feet?
It would bring it down to under 4.0. If we had changed those into landscape islands, yes.
So we're at 4.24 now.
Yeah, it would bring below.
I'm on the islands. That's where I'm at.
Diane, can you unmute Mayor Bill, please? He would like to speak to the group.
Hey, can you all hear me okay?
Who's that?
Too well.
Mayor.
Oh, okay.
You need, I can back off. Can you hear me now?
Very good.
Hey, so I just wanted to add a comment. After the first, when we came back with the variance, that they asked for, I was in contact with their, liaison person, Michael, and Michael explained to me that, Walmart does have a certain standard on parking, based on the square footage. And, I believe that's, where what Candace is trying to tell you. I would just recommend, it sounds like they've came back, they've done everything that they've asked us to do. And I would just ask, maybe we just, approve it and let the staff just finish it up and let's move on with this. That's all I got.
Thanks, Bill. Yep, we can vote.
So let me ask you about this, about the landscape, because one thing that I noticed, I don't think other people seen the islands that we saw previously are for 90-degree parking. This parking lot is set up at 60-degree parking. If you put landscape islands, right now you got sheet flow coming from the north to the south. Is it going to cause a regrading issue? And it's not just as simple as putting an island. It affects
Exactly.
other things
It does.
that I don't think people.
You can break it in the middle and flow it through. I'm just saying.
That's my position.
Yeah.
That's my position.
We talked about this a while back.
You've compromised with us. I'm okay. I would like to see more, obviously. But I feel like you have done due diligence to try to compromise with what we requested before. That's my position. I don't want to hold this hold up for 50 square feet of green space. That's my opinion.
3 versus 2 now, so now we just got to talk through the rest of it if that's what we want to do. Here's something. Amber Alert.
So you don't have any other,
No, I understand what it entails when you put curb and gutter on something that's designed already for your hydrology. Anytime you put a structure in front of hydrology, the water's gonna stop and go somewhere.
Hey, Tony.
Well, how are they gonna?
It's all draining to the northeast corner of that parking lot.
There's portions of this parking lot that's also going to
In the middle, it does go north.
but it would require a regrade. Yes.
Requires some new spot elevation,
So,
for sure.
that's just my position. I understand what it's gonna take. That's good for that.
So to try to keep us moving. On the three that support the islands. Thoughts on additional landscaping instead? Or a combination? I'm open for discussion on that.
I'm open for additional landscaping if they can meet, I guess, some of my peers' desire to get more landscaping and put it elsewhere.
I think we've already done that on.
I mean, we've allowed other projects to clump landscaping in certain areas so they can have valuable parking spots. I mean, we've done that in the past.
There are some areas we can beef up. They're on the south side of, along Sienna, on our first pond on the southeast corner. We can, add additional on the south portion. We can add additional landscaping at that intersection. In addition to the south side of the new proposed, road or future road on the south side of the property. So when that road comes in, we can add additional landscaping along here, obviously not within the AEP easement. But we can add additional landscape there if you go west. Of course, outside of all these easements that are adjacent, we can add additional along this tension. So there are areas that we can beef up the landscaping surrounding the property.
And to the
Specific-
outlots to the north,
Yes,
they're gonna have a landscape buffer on the south side.
eventually with their development,
I-
yes.
Okay. That's my position.
So I'm gonna try to walk through, because I think what Curtis brought up, I mean, the fact this is the kind of that start to the new downtown, if you will. So if we go, let's go to the west side, I guess, if you will, that would be on Main Street, right? So from an aesthetic perspective, just kind of think about it this way, Curtis, as people are driving down Main Street, if they're thinking about going to the new downtown, I'll call it, which is south of here, right? So they're gonna pass by here, and they have, I'm just gonna, and I'm not an engineer, Will, so I can talk in layman's terms. So they have put landscaping along here and trees and things that people will see. Now, there are some parking, but they're trying to block those, it looks like. So as people come down, there are gonna be some, some landscaping, if you will, that people would see as they drive down into this thing. And then the piece of property that we're talking about is it just directly south of here? I'm trying to remember.
It's like
Yeah.
all of it.
So then this new proposed road, that would run behind this, there's an opportunity obviously there to either beef that up or, do some additional landscaping. At the end of the day, you're still gonna see a building when you come in to that. We're not asking them any crazy things like colors or, it looks like it's gonna be traditional Walmart colors. We're not doing anything crazy, but people are still gonna see it. And in theory, as they get down through, they're not gonna see some of the parking. So think about it that way, if you can visualize that. And it's kind of hard. I mean, we saw it obviously in front of the neighborhood market in Rogers. It's already built, but think about, yes, but that's trees and some aesthetics, right? And then
Visualize it,
and then we are gonna gain, whether you should be excited or not about stoplight, I mean, we are gonna gain that stoplight. And so if there's an opportunity to do anything there, as people are stopped, if there's an opportunity for them to see, just some food for thought. I'm just trying to help us move along a little bit. If you guys can kind of visualize that a little bit different than just thinking, gosh, they're gonna put a building, because people are gonna drive by here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're gonna see that versus an island, if you will. So they're gonna see the west side. So if there's an opportunity to beef some of that up, does that help? Because that's what people are gonna drive by and see versus an island that they may not even want to drive into Walmart. They might want to go to the neighborhood market instead. So I'm trying to help us move along and maybe compromise on something there. And does that help? Unfortunately, we just don't have the picture like we saw on the neighborhood market in Rogers.
So I will say to that point, there was an effort on this to minimize the visual impact of the sea of parking from outside of the site. From some of this exterior landscaping, particularly on the, the east and west. So that effort has been made already. Of course, it's hard to see when it circles from top down. But that is something that we tried to include.
We can also add, there at the pharmacy, we could probably add some landscape at that pharmacy drive-through. It's a sea of stripes there. We can create that as a landscape island. There are other,
The
yes.
rectangle one right
Right
there,
there.
yes.
That's a bigger area where we can landscape, add some shrubs and trees.
There is, and we've got a text exchange going with another CEI engineer, but there are up near the McDonald's parcel, similar to the sort of jagged landscape island that y'all pulled up on Google Maps earlier. I think those two right there are the two that are large enough to accommodate that and.
No, on the south side of the drive. Those first two on the south side of that drive.
The first two striped areas right there.
Right there, yes, those two. The ones that you had mentioned, Joey.
Does that mean two now and then some additional landscaping? Is that the offer that's on the table?
Well, so I mean,
I'm just trying to keep us moving here, Will.
what we can do is the striped area in front of the pharmacy drive-through, we can landscape that and landscape those two.
That's a total of,
The pharmacy doesn't really do much. There's no road down there.
And there's no opportunity to landscape that section right between the entrance and McDonald's right there?
That's a good
There's
spot.
no, what is that? What's,
A sightline issue for turning right. on
Yeah,
the street.
sightline issues and also heavy and utilities. That's, you can see some easements there.
that's fair. Yeah.
So I mean, I think that just to run over here and point it out. For example, this one, I'm guessing, again, not an engineer, that one I'm guessing is too small for us to do anything with.
Correct.
And these two are large enough.
Fourth one's still too small though.
Yes.
I'm still on 6. That's where I'm at.
6 on the north cap, not amongst what we just spoke about.
6 total on the north, yeah. I think the first 2 are a smart idea because of traffic flow and you're doing the taper in the drive. I think just from a safety perspective, that's a good call. The fourth one to the right is bigger than the 2 that you just pointed out, so I see no reason why that couldn't work. But and that's only 4 of them. But again, I'm just one guy.
It's at the McDonald's with better define McDonald's for sure. At the entrance there.
so there's for Brandon with the 2 additional here. Plus, even though Joey doesn't like it, the one at the pharmacy. And some additional landscape. It was just a point. I mean, it made the point. I'm just repeating what Joey said.
Yeah.
Does that help you guys out?
Yeah, I hate to beat a dead horse. I guess my mind's still stuck on the traffic though. If it's just painted on there, people are just gonna drive over that and ignore the lanes. And then you've got, to me, that's a safety concern when people aren't.
Understood. The larger islands have light poles in them. The smaller islands that we had discussed, those obviously have adjacent vehicles if vehicles were parked there. So the larger islands do have large light poles.
How many have the large light? How many islands
The other one,
have a light pole?
2, 3, 4, yeah. 6 of them.
5. Seen the whole thing.
6.
I
6.
I missed one.
think there's 6. Yeah.
Brandon, are you still on 6?
Can we work with the light poles? I mean, around the, I mean, it seems to be 6 right there. You know,
Leave the light poles.
I mean, I'm with y'all. I mean, I really want to approve this and get this thing rolling.
Sure.
Tonight. Seems like we could work with those 6. Is that gonna,
That's
that change, what's that change?
standard with those large poles with the light poles in them. We have to be design side, we'd have to be very careful.
Didn't you just say you could do one of those?
No, well, the one that has the large island, yes, those are larger than the other light pole islands.
Okay,
They are.
I don't believe that, but okay.
And what gets me, these are interior parking spots. These are not exterior parking spots.
Yeah.
I would be more concerned if we had an issue with the exterior, the frontage, street frontage. The street frontage is covered. All we're debating here is interior.
Yeah. I mean,
Let's vote.
Let's just vote.
So before we vote, it is a public meeting and I understand there's maybe someone that wishes to speak from the public, so if you guys don't mind, we'll let them speak.
Two landscape.
It's not a public hearing, it's a public meeting. And so we do have to allow for anyone that wishes to speak the opportunity to do so.
Certainly.
And maybe y'all can text a few more while we're doing this.
Thanks for the opportunity. I'm Cliff Thompson. My address is 116 Christian Lane. Just listening to all the discussion, it seems like this was tabled once before. Some requirements were presented and it seems like they've come back and addressed the issues the best that they thought that they could. The concern I have is that this is a multi-million-dollar project. The company that's involved and investing a lot to add infrastructure to our city. Stoplights, road improvements, trails. There's also a lot of green space that is part of this property that they can't do anything with anyway. And you're talking about, like he said, interior parking that's gonna be blocked by everything. There's nothing, you're not gonna see that driving down Highway 102. You're not gonna see that on Main Street. I think we're splitting hairs and causing a lot of undue hardship for a project that needs to be here. It needs to be here sooner rather than later because it's a catalyst for a lot more things to come to the city. And I think we're being a little bit ridiculous, to be honest. Thanks.
Cliff? Anyone else wish to speak?
Wendy Hinton, 368 North B Street. I typically would not step up and speak to this, but on behalf of a lot of the residents that I know are waiting for this to come, I would ask that you guys be more open to considering what's already been presented. This is going to be great for our community. I understand your reasoning behind it. We certainly don't want it to look like a big parking lot. But this is something that's been in the works for many years. And so I just want to speak on behalf of the residents that I've spoken to, that this is something that needs to happen. So I hope that y'all make a decision tonight that's in the best interest of everyone. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Mr. Mooney?
Good evening. Rick Mooney, 1325 North Main Street. I attended the last session and I don't recall hearing anything about the northern spots being an issue. They were asked to come back with islands. They've come back with islands. To create a new issue at this point seems to be inappropriate. Should have been reviewed by the staff and tried to be worked through weeks ago, not tonight.
Chris? Do you have the minutes from that meeting? Was it truly just to go do, I just want to see if there's any clarification.
My understanding from that meeting, because the original plans already had islands along the north. The idea was that additional islands needed to be added in the middle to break up like the 20, almost 30 parking spaces in a row, as we made other projects do. Do you guys think maybe there's some leniency in alternating between having middle parking lot islands and north parking lot islands? That they can still maybe maintain their parking and also.
Yeah, that was something we proposed the first time, the first round.
I don't remember seeing him.
In the conceptual plan that we had discussed, and we actually made the adjustment to accommodate that statement for our most recent conversation with the panel here.
So now I'll try to clarify what that looks like. So that we can see if we can get a consensus or not. So, Candace, with that, would you guys think about keeping the two then? Will, sorry. So would you keep the two that you offered up?
The entrance there.
Yes. And then alternating and then do the,
Southern
the
Pharmacy.
pharmacy. Is that what's on the table now? I'm just trying to make sure, because Christian's over there trying to take notes for all this and we all, so.
When you say alternating, what do you mean alternating in addition to the two that we all offered up?
No, I mean, your thought process is alternate between north and middle. Is that what you're saying? I'm just,
It's, I mean, that would require a redesign, because since that's how we had it proposed the first time, was an alternation between end caps and islands. But since then, there's been other.
Oh, there was nothing in the middle the first time we saw this. And you had MCAT, you had the islands on the north. So that's why it was surprising today when we came back and we've kind of solved this situation in the middle, but taken away everything that was presented the first time up.
Consideration that we're speaking of is the discussion we've had with the planning department outside of the panel here.
Gotcha.
Never seen one that had end caps and landscape islands in the middle. At least two.
we haven't seen them, only staff.
So I apologize for that. There's several different versions that you said.
Several different versions, several different years.
So, I mean, I think at this point, we know that we are able to landscape the pharmacy island. I understand that's not necessarily in the vein of what you're looking for. And we are also confirmed, we can do the two islands on the northwest side by McDonald's, and beyond that, we don't have much more authority to make a deal, and we also need to get a vote tonight.
All right, let's vote.
So what are we're voting on what you just presented?
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm gonna ask just because I don't know, since it's if it's just if it's like a preliminary approval and the street adjacent, there's no appeal unless it was denied. Is that correct? Or even in the denial be appealed? I'm just asking. I don't know that process.
For preliminary approval? With our new code, we're not.
What would they appeal?
Our vote, I mean.
Oh,
I don't
it
know.
doesn't go to council. Right, is that what you're asking?
Grieved parties or individuals may file an appeal to the city council regarding the planning commission decision.
And related conditions of approval.
Hey, I just want to add too, you do have three council members there present.
Okay. So the final proposal is, if, just make sure we're all clear, would be the two, and the, pharmacy. That's what we're gonna vote on tonight. And just give you a heads up, we will do a roll call on it, just.
So, and to clarify, if somebody does vote no, they need to state the reason why they vote no, correct? We have to give a reason.
It's beneficial if you can.
So with that, I would entertain a motion for development 2413, the Walmart Supercenter preliminary plans and adjacent street agreement. Again, as a reminder, it's at the corner of Main Street and Highway 102. And the additional on the table is the two northern west islands that would be converted, along with the island at the pharmacy. And I'm gonna say discussion on additional landscape because it wasn't really defined tonight, but that's what was hard to define tonight, but that's what was part of the discussion.
All right, this is Tony. I'll make a motion to approve development 2413 Walmart Supercenter preliminary plans as shown with the additions of landscaping islands and then of the two northwest islands with additional landscaping at the pharmacy island.
And a black fence around the detention or decorative.
Yeah, black with the decorative fence. Yeah.
Is that everything?
Yep.
Brandon, I second.
We have a motion and we have a second. You will do a roll call vote for me, please.
Curtis Ramsey,
Yes.
Tony Davis,
Yes.
Joey Engel,
I'm gonna go no because, let me state my reasoning here. When we discussed this the first time, there were islands on the top, and what's presented tonight has less interior green space than what was presented the first time.
Brandon Swoboda,
I'm gonna go with the yes.
and Jeff Seifert.
I'm a yes as well.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right, next, under announcements, our next planning commission meeting is the 7th of October. Can't be here, just as a reminder to let us know. And I will see you before the next council meeting. Any other announcements from staff?
I do want to give you all a heads up that Alan has worked on a lot of changes to the codes. Section of the streets, drainage manual, signs, Title 15.
He had some comments and he did change it though.
Okay.
To make changes.
So we are trying to get those kind of summarized so that we can look at them and staff can look at them. But I think we'll try to be on the
Second meeting in
October, which is 21st. So anyway, we'll try to get those in the Dropbox so that you all can be looking at them also.
What's the status on 15?
Status on what?
On 15.
It's done. It's stopped.
We're good to go.
Yeah.
We've been going.
Yes.
Since August.
There's a lot of projects that got submitted before it was.
And it's their submittal date that kicks them into? Okay.
And then, I don't know if y'all saw any of the news or anything else, but Garver was selected. I think we've shared that here, but from a new downtown perspective and revitalization of old downtown. And so, Kayla shared, I think before there's been one meeting and then they'll start into their, interaction with the public, if you will, the citizens trying to get information. So kind of be on the lookout for that. If there's anything these guys can participate in or any of us can participate in, please let us know. So be on the lookout for that. Their goal is to do it in a year because there is a time frame that they need to do that. So just FYI that they're moving along with that. And if there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Anybody opposed? Second. Oh, we gotta have a second. Anybody opposed? Thank you, guys.